Assalamu alaikum. First of all, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to present on this topic SIP, which is stands for Session Initiation Protocol. Before going to the main presentation, I want to introduce myself. I am Mohammed Reduan Masud, student of CSC at City University, and the presentation will be submitted to Mohammed Al Mahmoud Yasser, the lecturer of City University. In this presentation, I am going to cover what is SIP, a brief story of SIP, network elements of SIP, message elements of SIP, and an example. What is SIP? The session initiation protocol SIP is a signaling protocol used for initiating, maintaining, and terminating real-time sessions like voice, video, and messaging application. We have to remember that SIP only works with the real-time session. That means when we do a real-time thing, that time SIP works. Will be used there. SIP is only involved in signaling operation of medium communication session and is primarily used to set up and terminate voice or video calls. SIP can be used to establish two-party unicast or multi-party session. It also allows modification of existing calls. Here, two-party or unicast means when we call somebody and there are only two persons talking each other. That means we are a two-party session. We are in a two-party session. On the other hand, when we use a conference call, initiator of a direct peer-to-peer call, when we are in conference call, we are there more than two users. We are in a multi-party session. That means we are in multicast. SIP is also a text-based protocol. Is incorporating with many elements of hypertext transfer protocol and SMTP or simple mail transfer protocol. A call established with SIP may consist of multiple media streams, but no separate streams are required for applications such as text messaging that exchange data as payload in the SIP message. A brief story of this SIP, how it comes to life. Generally, it's designed by Mark Henley, Henning Skulzrin, Eve Schuler, and Jonathan Rosenberg in 1996. That time they make it for the voice call protocol or for a real-time voice calling session only. Later on, 2000, SIP was accepted as a 3GPP signaling protocol. That means in a cellular network we are using SIP protocol, and a permanent element of the IP medium subsystem, which is known as IMS architecture, for IP-based streaming multimedia service in cellular network. Now let's know the network elements. The network elements that use the session initiation protocol are communication or for communication are called user agent, are called a SIP user agent. That means every element, the network element that used for session initiation protocol, which element we use for session initiation protocol is called SIP user agent. Now this agent can also be called as a client or a server. When a user agent or SIP user agent requesting for a service function, that time we'll call that a user agent client or UAC. On the other hand, when a SIP user agent is respond to a request, that time we call that user agent as a user agent server or UAS. There are many network elements in SIP. First of all, that user agent what we can say endpoint, like when we are in calling or voice call, we use mobile device. Every mobile device is the endpoint, or we can say is a user agent. A mobile device can call, make call, or cut a call, or modify that thing. Proxy server. It's like a router. Well, what does the router do? The router routes the or find the path. Here, a proxy server also do that thing. It routes or sends a route, send the data by a route where to send. A proxy server sits in between two user agents. That means when we communicate through two user agent, in the medium phase there will be a proxy server. Register. It works like a database, or it uses for user authentication. Redirect server. It's a redirect message and receives request and send its independent recipient. Location server. It used to find out the caller possible location to redirect and proxy server. Only a proxy server or redirect server can contact with this location server. Now, SIP messaging. In SIP text-based protocol, with syntax similar to the HTTP, there are two different types of SIP messages. One is request type and response type. In request type, there are different kinds of request messages. First is a register. It's a URI listed onto the header field. It listed on two header field with the location of server and associated with the network address given in contact header field. Then invite. It initiates a dialog for establishing a call. The request is sent by a user agent client to a user agent server. Then ACK is a confirm that an entry has been received, a final response to an invite request. By it is a termination call. Cancel, it cancels any pending request. Update, modify the state of session without changing the state of dialog. Refer, ask recipient to issue a request for purpose of call transfer. Break, provisional acknowledgement. Subscribe, initiates a subscription for notification or even from another notifier, like when we call a subscription happened that we have to cost some money, like these things. Notify, it it's a notification message any event. Then we also are different messages like publish, message, info and options. Okay, now next come to the response messages. This type of messages are the response. In response, when we are in HTTP, in response we generally found 200 OK message, which is for a successful message. Here this is the same. When we do a redirection message in HTTP, we do a 301 message. So here when we want to call redirection, we do a 301 message. Here double X represent any digits of error messages. So we have 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 and 600 messages for these different type of redirection or messages or responses. Now let's go to an example. It will clarify the idea very much. So when I do a call, what we do? So let's assume the person, one named Rofik and another name is Mina. Rofik wants to call Mina and they'll talk. What will they do? Rofik will initiate the call. That means he do a register. First of all, he is doing a registration or register. So, but we know that in medium of two agents there is a proxy server. So there will be a proxy server here. So now Rofik is going to call Mina. He dial up Mina's number, and what he do? He'll invite he'll do invitation. The invite will go to the proxy server, then proxy server will return with a message response is 100, that it's trying to reach Mina. Then when it got Mina, it invite to Mina. From Mina's device, it sends a response message of 180 is that ringing. The message also sent over to the Rafiq. Rafiq can know that the mobile is ringing. When we call somebody, we hear a beep sound. This is for this kind of messages. Okay. Then if Mina accepts the call, it will in response it will send a 200 OK message to the proxy server. The proxy server also send this message to the Rafiq. Now the final response or request is finished, then they will send a ACK message to Rafiq, send it to proxy server. The proxy server will send it to Mina. Then they are open to talk now. So this is an example of SIP protocol, how SIP works. So thank you very much for the opportunity you give me.